I thank you so much indeed. Two things. Thank you, of course, for inviting me and to giving me the opportunity to say something in this particular meeting and to be very patient. I know I consume a lot of, or the technicians consume a lot of your time. Indeed, the subject that you are discussing is a very key to myself, especially. I spent 8 years in the United Nations. I used to say that I am the son of the United Nations, the hub there in New York, I mean in Manhattan itself. So that when it came to the United Nations, just a very brief historical background, you all know that our main problem, or the birth certificate of Israel, or the two-state solution itself, was started there. November 29th, 1947, when the United Nations again decided to divide our historical land between us, the indigenous people, where we used to, at that time, to own 94% of the property of the land. With the new arrival, the Khazarian Jew. And when we say the Khazarian Jew, I mean it because we should differentiate between the Jewish themselves, who is descendant from Ishaq, Ibrahim, peace upon him, and the Khazarian. But anyhow, when it came to the United Nations, we all know, and I think it's well known to all of you that there is a key master when it came to the United Nations, which is the provider, the money provider, which is, especially in particular, when it came to the Palestinian question, there is someone, or the big hammer is there, which is the United States of America, who is not the sponsor. We cannot say that the United States is the sponsor of the Israeli occupation. The United States of America is the real occupier of the Palestinian people, but the hands of the dirty, or the dirty hands, is, of course, is the Israeli themselves. So that when it came to the United Nations, yes, we need, or we can say a lot of things about it, but let me just say, as I used to say, and I will continue to say, when it came to the United Nations again, they gave our land to the Israeli themselves, and instead of that, or they traded it with us with the lip services, especially in the General Assembly itself, where we are talking about more than 1,000 adopted resolution, over one adopted resolution, with zero implementation on the ground. But again, also, it will be a very surprise to some of you when you know that UNRWA itself was created by the United States of America, the one who provided the resolution and the co-sponsor of the resolution at that time, late 1949 and early 1950, of the UNRWA, is the United States of America, who is trying to outlaw it. Or I think in some places, in some states in America, they already outlawed UNRWA itself, and they are completely cut the funding of it. But by the end of the day, the United Nations itself is very important, still very important, when it came not to the practical issue, but when it came to the traditional or the classical multilateralism, the international law, and the international humanitarian law, and all of this that we, the Palestinian, and in general in the South, of course, is still maintaining it and want to maintain it. The other issue that I would like to shed light on it is the war on Gaza. Or the global war in Gaza. And for some is trying, there are two schools of thought, of course, that which mean that we, the Palestinian or the state of Palestine and many other supporters, believe that this is a war on Gaza. This war on Gaza is not justified and could not be justified by October 7th at all. There is a hidden and also explicit goals behind this war, which is to expel the Palestinian people. And let me just remind you a very important issue, very important statistics. In the last occasion, the 77 occasion of the Nakba, which took place, of course, May 15, the last May 15, the 77th anniversary of Al-Nakba, um, our statistical bureau issued a very important and very significant statistical figure. We, the Palestinians, from the river to the sea, with all the killing and expelling of the Palestinians, which exceeded so far more than 300 hours, so that I can assure all of you that the multilateral system is created to some extent to after the, of course, the Second World War, regardless of what did we or what did they wrote on the charter itself, but it seems that at least in our case as a Palestinian, it seems that it was created, or at least to maintain the domination of the Israeli occupation, the domination of the imperialism. And this should take me to the other steps, which is once we talk about the Second World War. After the Second World War, the international community created, or the ones who won the war at that time, in particular the United States of America, which is the only one. All of the others, of course, was gun loser. Just the United States of America was the victory at that time. And they created the international economic and political order, which is, I mean, United Nations, IMF, World Bank, and all of these systems. Then they created many other issues like human rights, human rights law, Geneva Convention, Geneva Convention plus, to the end till we reach, of course, the 2030 sustainable economic agenda. But this economic order is not serving the old imperialism that likewise America and the Western country. It was not serving them, at least for the last 20 years, 25 years, because by the upraising of new economic powers such as India, China, of course, Russia, BRICS, and all of these stuff, this is a direct threat to the classical power, to the American power, to the European power. So that this means that those powers will not be survived as long as the South is raising up or coming up again, and the BRICS is trying to raise its face. So that I think, again, the war in Gaza is a war to show the international community that all the old economic and political orders that we had as a Western country gathered and ruled you on the South is not serving you and will not serving you more if you dare to challenge the upcoming new economic and political orders. And the very best example in this regard is the war in Gaza. This genocide on Gaza, which is running, or televised genocide in Gaza, before the whole international community, and no one dare to challenge the Israeli and the American. I did not say no one from the Western country. They are the people there is a bit different, but when it came to the government itself, all of them, the vast majority of them is complicit in this war. And there is no harm to say, of course, United Kingdom, Germany, and other countries completely complicit in this war. But again, the war in Gaza is a new example of the upcoming new economic and political order and how it will be imposed in the South, so that we should be fully aware of that.
No, I
this
can't
is
see
not
that.
a war.
There's a problem in my tablet. Someone has to read.
Did you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, so that the issue is that the war in Gaza is a good example of what we and the southern country can be faced if they dare to challenge the new economic and political order that Western countries trying to impose it, and it is very clear by the the new president of the United States, who was start his tenure
Oh,
just a few months ago with a lot of economic war against
oh,
many, even with against many of his allies. So that we need to think about the war in Gaza in another perspective, which is a global perspective, not um, I mean not local perspective, not between Israel and Hamas. This is not a war between Israel and Hamas. This is a war, of course, against the Palestinian people, the entire Palestinian people existence between the river and the sea. This is a war that was led by the United States of America and other Western countries to show that there is no place when it came to the interest of the Western country. There is a very good laboratory that since 637 days, this laboratory is running, and the genocide is running is to show the people in the West and the South, I mean, the upcoming and the new economic and political order should be respected and you should be abide by it. I'm gonna stop here. I know that the connection is not that much with me. I'm not pretty sure whether you hear me very well, but and so that I would like to stop here. Back to you, Mr.